beautiful. If this is your first time here, I'm an intuitive tarot oracle reader. Now, my dear, I hope you're having an amazing day and everything is going fine with you. If today is not the best day, I'm sending you tons and tons and tons of positive energy, and I hope everything will be well soon. Now guys, today I'm back with another pick a card reading, and today's pick a card reading was a suggestion of one of you guys, so thank you very much for that first of all. And yeah, today it's all about how can you love yourself, or what can you do to love yourself. And yeah, this is a very, very, very important topic, my dear, because if we talk about loving ourselves or accepting ourselves, it's not just about, thinking that we are good enough, because the way or the relationship we have towards ourselves actually has an influence on us on a physical level, on a mental level, energetic level, and also emotional level. So the greatest relationship we should have is actually with ourselves. But unfortunately, since we are like very young, we always get so much influence from the outside of why we are not good enough or why we're not beautiful enough, and all those crap basically. Of course, in the age of social media, it's becoming worse and worse for a lot of people. So I really find it important to come back to our center and really understand the manipulation that we have gone through, and that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, but more so with this world. So yeah, this was a little bit of real talk, but it's important because you were good enough the way you were born, and you should not try to become someone because you are already someone. A lot of people throughout their lives do so much to become someone, but that's just not the case. You're already good enough the way you are, and unfortunately we're just not living in a world where this is really advertised or appreciated that much as making you a product or taking advantage of your insecurities. But anyways, coming back to this reading, as you can see, this is a very important one, very dear to me, to my heart, to record this for you guys. So yeah, my dear, as always, I have 3 piles that you can choose from. For pile 1, we have the beautiful card of Nourish Your Temple. Pile 2 is the positive affirmation card, and it's very interesting because in here it's written, I love myself. And for pile 3, we have the beautiful card of Write a Gratitude List. By the way, I cannot say it often enough, gratitude is a superpower, and I know one day I will record a reading where I will only talk about the power of gratitude. So yeah, anyways, okay. As always, my dear, so please feel free to pause the video, or you can also meditate on the cards if you feel like you need a little bit more time to choose. You will find all the timestamps in the description box, but also in the comments section. And also, my dear, if you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can feel free to email me, then you will get further information. And also, my dear, lastly, please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so not everything may resonate with you. But yeah, having said that, let's begin. Hey pal 1, welcome to your reading, my dear. So let's look into the question, what can you do, or how can you love yourself more? So first of all, I would like to get an oracle card or 2. We will see how many choose to come out. And yeah, then we will dive a little bit deeper into the topic with some more tarot. I would like to know, for my dear, for the beautiful person watching right now, how can they love themselves more? How can they improve the relationship they have towards themselves? Let's see. Alright, that's enough. So, for my dear pile 1, for the beautiful soul watching, what can they do to... Okay, alright, so we got family. Let me see. Oops. Beauty ritual. And I feel like one more card for you guys. One last card, please. What can you do to love yourself more? Ooh, too many cards. I only want one card, please. Okay. That's the last. Oh, it came through again. All right, so it has to come through. At the back of the deck, we got the journal card. Right there. All right, so first of all, let me make sure it's all in one line. All right, okay. So my dear Padawan, first of all, what I'm feeling is that some of you guys are perhaps struggling as well with something regarding your inner child. You know, something perhaps happened even in your childhood, or if it's not your childhood, it could be like when you were a young adult. But there's this element of something kind of still being like something traumatic, or some kind of experience or memory that you may have from your childhood that's kind of, or has still some influence on your self-worth, or on how much like lovable you are, you know. As an example, sometimes it could be the case that a child doesn't really get the love, you know, a child should get from their parents, or they're even rejected. And of course, you know, we know now that our childhood will influence the way we function as adults. I mean, don't take just my word, you know, you can also go and research so much when it comes to scientific facts, but regardless of that, that's just, you know, it's just common sense. I mean, how can we think that something in our, like, throughout the years which shape us will not have influence on us in the future, when some people still are struggling with like memories from like 30 years ago? Of course it will influence you. And I feel like some of you guys, there could have something like maybe with a parent, or with people, somehow you kind of didn't get what you deserve. Okay, some kind of love. You know, love can be shown very differently depending on what the person's love language is. You know, for some people love means let's say having a parent who really protects you. For others, someone who nurtures you. For others, gift giving. You know, some people really find gift giving as a huge way of love, like of the love language. And you know, everyone really has like different ways of how they see it, but at the end of the day, it's all about kind of feeling loved, right, or appreciated. And I feel like it could be the case that for some of you guys in your childhood, this came short somehow. Maybe either, you know, your parents didn't have a lot of time for you, or something happened, or for others, maybe you struggled with a lot of financial, like, you know, issues, and this somehow as a child has really made you feel like you were not worthy enough because you can't have, let's say, the things your friends have when you were a child, and you feel like you weren't deserving. And right now this is kind of still stuck with you, you know. So what I'm seeing for you is that this self-love journey of yours is not only detached to the present moment, it's definitely very deeply rooted in the past as well, you know. For others, if this is not childhood, this could, as an example, also be, let's say, just past energy, such as, let's say, you were in a relationship in which you have kind of like, you got this feeling as if you're not deserving enough, you know. Could even be some cheating involved, like those energies, you know, those energies which kind of really mess up with us. I feel like some of you guys could have experienced something like that to an extent, you know. And so what can you do to love yourself more? You know, a lot of times we want someone else to, let's say, protect us or nurture us, and of course those feelings are valid, and they're important, and it's important as well to get this, yeah, those energies and those feelings from the outside as well, right? From family, from loved ones, from partners. That's so important. But sometimes we forget that love starts with ourselves, and that we should not wait till someone comes across, till kind of feel loved. Because sometimes people tend to only like want love when it comes to kind of someone else. They're waiting for love, and they feel so like empty, or they feel like they're not deserving because there is no one loving them. But you can love yourself. You can show this example of how you would like other people to love you. Love yourself the way you would like others to love you, right? And there's this element here. I almost, no matter who you are, I genuinely am feeling like those are both you. Regardless of who you are, of your gender, it doesn't matter. This is just an illustration. So what I'm seeing is that whoever you are, it really feels like, how can you love yourself more? Mother yourself, father yourself, nurture yourself, really treat yourself with gentle, like energy and with kindness. Most or very often we're actually very harsh to ourselves, like we may say to ourselves things that we would never ever say to anyone else. And I once heard someone say that we should imagine ourselves, like when we are really harsh to ourselves. Imagine your like 5-year-old self being in front of you. Would you still say those things to this innocent child? No, you wouldn't. Then why are you saying those things to yourself? Because you are still this child. And it's very important that we get mindful about that. That at the end, you come here alone and you will go alone. And I've seen that a lot of people who struggle in their life, very often have a very kind of just effed up relationship towards themselves, and a very messed up relationship towards themselves. So it really influences us. So what can you do to love yourself more? As an example, let's say you're having a bad day, and you're home, and you really just feel like you would like someone to cheer you up, right? Then you be the one, talk towards yourself with loving and kind words. Literally hug yourself, okay? And this is not something like ridiculous to do. I mean, that's just something very natural. Just see this, the way they are giving each other a hug. This is the love we should have with ourselves. But our perception is too much on the outside world that we neglect the inside, right? Look at this. There's this it's not a flower, it's there's this plant here, and it's kind of growing from the inside, and just like a flower, really, we need to water ourselves in order to blossom. And depending on your individual self and what you love and what you dislike, as an example, let's say in your past, in your childhood, you always wanted to buy yourself something, such as a toy, okay? And there are certain things you associate with this toy right now. Let's say a desire, or just some kind of peace, because it really reminds you of that innocent part of you. Go and buy this toy. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding, Do things that really nurture your inner child, If someone is watching this and they always wanted to have a certain Barbie, a certain like doll, then but you could never got it because, let's say, you weren't really in the financial situation to do it, like, let's not you but your parents or your family, right? I mean, how can you're just a child. So And I'm not kidding. Then, for example, go and get yourself, or do something that you used to like to do when you were a child. You know, maybe watch a very watch a series or cartoon that you used to watch when you were younger, or just something which really brings you back to this light-hearted, center of yours. It's so important that we keep this child alive and we nurture this child, because it's us. And it will always be us. We're never separated from it. So one thing you can do is definitely love and mother yourself, for sure. Maybe some people watching this even have this desire to one day become a parent. That's also something I'm seeing. So yeah, be more gentle towards yourself. Be as like the way you would be with, let's say, a child. Like, you would be gentle with them, you would be really understanding, and you would accept them and their flaws. This is really the kind of energy that's shown here. Another thing that I'm seeing for you guys is that what I also find really interesting with beauty ritual being here, this is really giving me like big time self-care energy. So self-care can be so much for different people, right? I mean, for some, self-care is just to sit down and literally journal, right? Get aware when it comes to your thoughts and your life, just kind of journaling and just brainstorming. For others, self-care is deeply associated with, let's say, our body, as an example, to really take care of it, to nurture it, to, let's say, take massage it, or moisturize it, to really talk sweet towards it. It can be a lot of different things, but what I'm hearing is that one way you can love yourself more is to actually create a beauty ritual for yourself. And yes, I'm talking to anyone here. So even if you, when I say beauty ritual, I don't mean, let's say, cliche things. As for some, of course, this can be the right thing for you, but I mean just in general, things that make you feel good about you. Let's say someone watching this has a beard, maybe a man is watching this, then really kind of take care to self-care is all about, let's say, focusing on an aspect in our life and really taking care of it or nurturing it and giving it the love it deserves, right? So let's just say, that's just a small example. If a man is watching this and, you have a beard, then really kind of taking some time for yourself. It's a little bit like meditation even, just being in the present moment and just taking care of, let's say, I don't know what men do with beards, but like maybe like shape it, cut it, moisturize it, brush it, depending on how long it is, right? This is just an example for some people. For others who may have long hair, to take care of your hair, to brush it and really talk sweet to it, or just taking a shower, or could be anything which is part of your beauty ritual. Really start finding it, ritual, ceremony, just finding kind of something that really makes you connect with yourself. At the end of the day, that's really all it is. Let's say taking a bath or taking care of your hair, journaling. These are just tools, okay? These are just tools to connect with ourselves. So find something that really kind of works out for you. But really establishing a beauty ritual can really enhance your relationship towards yourself, because you're putting time and energy towards yourself. You're showing yourself that you're worth it. You're worth the time. You're worth the effort. And that's really, that's very beautiful, And again, that doesn't mean that this is something you need to do every day. Most of people don't have the time to do it every day, but even if you could just do it once a week or every few days, that can really, let's say you're having a very stressed schedule, right? Then really taking time out of your busy day to put your attention only back on yourself, this really can have such a huge impact on you. So, continuing, what I'm also seeing is that really become mindful of what kind of energies you surround yourself with. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times those perceptions we have from ourselves, which are negative, it could be the case that we literally got them from people around us, you know, because let's say they were insecure themselves and they have really kind of projected their insecurities towards us. Let's say someone is criticizing you all the time and it's really influencing you. Well, that actually says more about them than about you, because that really shows how critical they are towards themselves, and it's really showing itself, you know, in that way they treat you. So we should sometimes not really take everything personal when someone does something to us, because if we really understand that it comes from their own trauma and their own unhealed past or life, we actually understand that we're just the trigger of it, you know, but we are not the issue. It's just that we're bringing out the issues they have within themselves. And so what I'm seeing is that, my dear, once again, really become mindful of who you put your who you surround yourself with. You know, we would perhaps not let's say we would not drink toxins. You know, like if someone would tell you drink that's a toxic drink, you wouldn't drink it, because you would say like, why would I drink this? That's not good for me. You wouldn't even think twice about it, whether you would, let's say, put this toxic drink into your body. But we don't think twice about who we have around us, right? It's just something so natural that we have just random people around, or we have just people around, maybe even sometimes who we don't really like, but they're a part of our life, so we need to accept it. No, you don't need to accept anything that's not good for you. So there's this message for you, my dear, here to really become mindful of who you allow into your life and who don't. So that's really, really like coming through here big time. So maybe some of you guys have friends, or if it's not friends, maybe some of you guys just in general have people around you who are just not good for you. You know, could be narcissistic people, could be toxic people, it could just be people, if we're talking about self-love here, right, who are really kind of holding you back from this journey, because they're giving you so many reasons of why you're not good enough or why you're not smart enough. You know, this can even be people's expectations of you. As an example, like parent expectations that we feel we need to you know, make reality. I mean, this could be anything, but it's really all about you becoming mindful of that, my dear. And it's very interesting that I got this message from this card, which literally is called Hydrate. Like, I don't know, but this really gave me the energy here, because, you know, people around us can either be healing, or they can be an obstacle. But even, I mean, obstacles can be a great, you know, opportunity for growth, right? But what I'm seeing is that they're just people around you who are, like, they're holding you back, and they're just not good for you anymore. And this is the message here for you, my dear, to really become mindful of that, for sure. Yeah. Let me get some more information. Let's get you some tarot cards, my dear pile 1. Although I feel like a lot is said, but let's still see whether the cards would like to, yeah, tell us something for my dear pile 1. Let's see for you, let's see. Okay, the King of Pentacles we have here. Oops, too many cards. For my dear pile 1. All right, interesting. The Eight of Swords and one last card. How can you love yourself? And the Empress. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, first of all, with the Empress being here, the Empress for me is really kind of the divine feminine energy. And I also got, with the family card being here with the mother, you know, really, this has also given me divine feminine vibes. And maybe some of you guys right now could even, of course, take it how it resonates, but maybe some even are on the journey of healing their divine feminine, or becoming more feminine. I'm also hearing, whatever this has to, like, whatever this means. I'm hearing journey towards femininity. That's what I'm hearing. Take it how it resonates, but this is what I'm seeing. And so what I'm feeling is that, again, with the Empress being here, the Empress is the mother card. So it's really just confirming to me the family card right there. So what I'm getting, another message, okay, of how you can love yourself more, my dear pile 1. Become mindful of, of situations and people who kind of make you feel stuck in life and stuck within yourself. That's definitely something that I'm feeling here for you, my dear pile 1. So let's just say you are in a relationship which kind of makes you feel stuck. Then the message in here is really to become mindful of whether it's good for you to even be in this relationship or not, you know. That's really being emphasized here for me, to make sure that you're not trapped. You're not trapped by energies or by people who are not working out for you, who are not good for you. Because even like when we talk about self-love, right? Another way we can give less like self-love towards ourselves is to leave situations that are not good for us. It's not only about let's say doing lighthearted things, such as, let's say, I don't know, like taking a bath and massaging your body to connect with your body. It's also kind of doing those difficult things, such as, leaving people who are not good for us anymore. You know, this is also a way of really showing yourself how worthy you are. So that's definitely also coming through. And another thing that I'm hearing is that really become mindful of the partner that you either would like to have in life, or you're manifesting, or you may even have right now in your life. Really become mindful of who deserves you. This is what I'm hearing, you know. Whether it's someone who you are with actually, treats you the way you deserve to be treated. That's also something I'm seeing, you know. That's really confirming the message of becoming mindful of who we give our energy to, right? That's definitely a huge self-love act, in my eyes at least. So my dear pile 1, please feel free to let me know how you feel about this reading, and I really hope genuinely that this somehow helped you. If it did, please feel free to share it with us, and also like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, of course, you can feel free to email me and I will give you further information. And also, my dear, lastly, if you would like to connect with me even more, my channel's Instagram account is in the description box down below, and of course I invite you there as well. But yeah, my dear pal 1, take care. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading, my dear. Now let's see, what can you do to love yourself more? How can you love yourself more? The beautiful soul that is watching this right now, how can they improve the relationship they have towards themselves? How can they love themselves more? For my dear pile 2, how can you guys love yourself more? Let's see. For my dear pile 2. All right, for pile 2, how can you love yourself more? All right, so we got sound healing. For my dear pile 2, oh my goodness. Okay, we got make a vision board and flow like water. And then I'm gonna get you one last card for my dear pile 2. Oh my goodness. And we, oh my goodness, and you got your own card. And we got the positive affirmations. Let me make sure you can seal the cards, my dear. All right, okay. So pile 2. Okay, you got 4 cards. Pile 1 only got 3 cards, so that's interesting. Let me make sure that it's on one line because I don't see it from there. Okay, but that looks good. All right, my dear pile 2. So, first of all, it's very interesting that you got your own card, like your pile's card. Maybe some of you guys even, yeah, you know, there's just something you associate with this card and you really felt drawn to take it. So with the positive affirmation card being here, and the sound healing as well, by the way, there's definitely this emphasis for you guys to be mindful of how you interact with yourself. For you guys, a great way to love yourself more or to, yeah, be self-loving is definitely to, in the way, you know, I am seeing the throat chakra for sure. So, Vishuddhi, so the way you communicate with yourself. So, you know, when we talk about communication, it's not only about words, although with the positive affirmation card, this is definitely very strongly coming through. So, definitely what you guys can do is, as an example, to become mindful of what you say towards yourself on a daily basis, you know, and not only that, to go with like a step further and even literally bring affirmations into your daily regime or routine, or just in general, you know. Listen to a lot of affirmations or write down certain qualities you would like to have within yourself and certain qualities you already have within yourself. And there is this element of self-acceptance, but at the same time this element of like wanting to become like your best version, right? Because we as humans, this is just, well, in nature in general, this is a very natural aspect that life always wants to go to the next level, and what life always wants to experience more. So this idea of, let's say, becoming your best version or all the time upgrading is actually one of encouragement, but we should never, let's say, start with those things coming from a point of self-hate and thinking that, well, if I do this, then I will be like good enough. No, you're already good enough, regardless of you do this or that. But you know what I mean? So it's very important to understand that you're already good enough, but you have every right to, yeah, improve yourself even more, right? And want to do more or want to kind of experience more. That's your human right to do. But we should never, you know, come from a place where we hate ourselves. And this is why I'm feeling again that for you guys, make yourself a list with qualities that you already have, which you love about yourself, and then qualities which you would like to work on in the future to kind of bring into your life. With positive affirmations, again, literally maybe even saying to yourself affirmations or writing down certain affirmations you would like to listen to every day. By the way, I definitely still would like to create this, guided meditation channel, and I'm definitely still thinking about it. I also thought about, putting some like affirmation videos on there. So if this is something you would like to see, then definitely feel free to let me know, because I'm still thinking about it, and I'm definitely being pushed there by my spirit guides to do that, to help more and to help people on their healing journey, through another way, because tarot is one way, and like meditation is another way. So please feel free to let me know whether you're interested in that. But regardless of that, what I'm also seeing is that there's this element, my dear pile 2, of music here as well. A lot of people think music is just entertainment, and that's it. It doesn't have any influence on us, and it's just for kind of killing our time. But it couldn't be further from the truth, because what music is it's frequencies and vibration, and that's what we are as well. So the vibrations we surround ourselves with will also shape our own vibration, our own frequency. So what I'm seeing is that for you guys, there's this element of meditation here as well. Maybe for some of you guys, literally something to get more self-love is to meditate, to kind of because when we meditate, and a lot of people are really kind of, a lot of people on a daily basis kind of are in the process of running away from themselves. We always try to distract ourselves from our own inner world, and we do so much, we concentrate on so many things, and we really see this in people who just don't feel comfortable, let's say, to one day just be with themselves. There is this element of kind of running away from yourself, and this should never be the case, because you are all you have, and the greatest relationship we can have is with ourselves. And when we feel like when we're alone, we're not in great company, then this means that you have disconnected from yourself, because I have genuinely experienced that the great company we actually can have is with ourselves. And meditation actually really helps us to come to this inner center. Sometimes people don't like to be alone, because when they are there, the chatter starts, those overthinking starts. So they always want to kind of be occupied, so they don't really face those demons. But what meditation does is actually seeing those demons in the eye and observing them and accepting them for what they are, just a projection of us, and kind of opening the door for them to exit, and just accepting that. So for some of you guys, for sure, meditation can be a very important thing. With sound healing being here, it could even be the case that for some of you guys, this combination of frequencies, of vibration, of sound therapy and meditation can be a great mixture. So as an example, you putting some nice frequencies on, and then just meditating a little bit, just sitting down, at least sitting down and observing yourself and observing the music, that can actually do so much to us. For some others, maybe even this can also mean, another way to take it how it resonates, right? Because for one portion of you guys, this can be the case. For others of you, of course, it could also be the case that both of the things can resonate with you. But for others of you, it can even be the case that it's actually all about connecting with your own voice. Vishuddhi. It's very interesting that's coming through for you guys. Anyway, so it's all about you, again, connecting with your own voice. So a way of self-love can be you really being courageous enough to say those things that are dear to you, to stand for those things that are true for you, right? That we don't, you know, that we don't deny ourselves, right? That's also a huge, important thing, that we are kind of okay with who we are, and we don't deny our aspects. So that's, yeah, very important here. So another thing could be, in a lot of ancient cultures as well, our voice had so much healing like power. And when I think about women from different places around the world, and the songs, even the medicine songs that they used to sing, to honor themselves, to honor Mama Earth, and just honor life, and honoring the consciousness that we are a part of. That's just so healing itself. So maybe for some of you guys, you should connect with this more music kind of aspect of your life, or to start singing. It doesn't matter who you are. With the women, that was just an example. Of course, as well, men, right? That's just something that came into my mind. So no matter who you are, to really connect with your voice. And yeah, that's really what I'm seeing for you, Pile 2 as well. Yeah. If you are from a certain culture, where music or certain songs have an importance, then even to connect with that, that's also very beautiful. Definitely, yeah. As an example, like mantras, right? We are also, that's a way of bhakti yoga. It's a way of devotion, of showing the devotion we have towards, the divine with our voice. And yeah. Anyway, so another thing that I'm seeing for you, pal, too, is that, yeah, for you guys, a great thing, actually, I feel like you guys are kind of also goal-oriented. Like, you are people who are concentrated towards the future, or you may have a certain vision of yourself, that you would like to accomplish. And as I said, one of the best things we can do for self-love is actually to always want to improve, right? But should never come from a place of, well, I'm not worth anything, so I need to, do this or that in order to be someone. You are already someone. You're already good enough. But there's always or always room for going to the next level. And this is this energy I'm getting about you guys. With Make a Vision Board, what this is actually, giving me is that a great thing you can do for your self-love journey is actually to think of a vision of yourself which really feels uplifting. I'm not talking of like an artificial version of yourself that you feel like you're being pressured to, fit in, or whatever others expect of you. No, I really genuinely mean, again, coming back to this list, look at those qualities that you would like to have. Really become mindful of, who your best version is. And it is actually so, beautiful for us to every day kind of take a step forward to come more and more in our power, in our energy, right? Which comes from a place of love. It doesn't come from a place of lack. Because very often people who don't feel good enough and feel like they need to change something when it comes to themselves, it's coming from a place of lack. They feel like they don't have something they should have in order to be good enough, beautiful enough, whatever it may be. But what I'm talking about is actually already knowing that you are good enough and just wanting to try to improve, you know, yourself. Not coming from a place of lack or self-hate, but coming from a self-loving place, knowing that you deserve to have the best, and therefore always kind of wanting to improve ourselves for ourselves, you know. I hope I can explain it correctly, because it could be a little bit confusing, you know, but there is a difference. There is a difference between wanting to change yourself because you hate yourself and you feel like you need to be someone else in order to be lovable, or to want to improve yourself because you feel like you deserve it and you want to go to the next level, you know, and you want to every day do something which is good for you on a mental, emotional, energetical, and physical level. There is a difference here, a huge difference. So yeah, and you know, you could make a list, literally even a vision board right now. I mean, there is the vision board right there. So yeah, for some, if you're more so, if you would like to be more creative than just writing things down, yeah, you could maybe from different magazines, or you know, like get some different you know, like pictures who somehow, yeah, you know, have this quality or emphasize this quality that you would like to bring into your life, or you would like to make stronger within yourself. You also got flow like water here. The flow like water is again giving me major meditation vibes, because when I think of that, it really makes me feel like the full flow of water card when I look at it. It feels like being underwater in total silence, and silence has so much healing energy to it. So for you guys, definitely, you know, just being like, just stepping, just taking it slow a little bit, you know, maybe especially for some of you guys, if you're always hectic or you have very like, again, very like busy schedules, to sometimes just to, you know, calm down and just be very like slow, okay, slow pace. And that's kind of like, as an example, if you're normally eating very very fast and you're watching something while you're eating and you're not very in the present moment, observing the process of actually eating, right? The thing you can do is, let's say, to eat while you're actually in silence, and don't watch anything and just concentrate on the delicious food you're eating. Yes, that can also be a way to give our self-love, or improving the relationship we have to ourselves, to be in the present moment and just to kind of be there with ourselves. Because again, a lot of people always are distracted, and I feel like silence actually is, or just coming like being a little bit like slower, can actually improve your life's quality, guys. That's definitely something that I'm seeing. It could be the case that at the beginning it will be very weird, or yeah, you even have to a little bit kind of adjust to it or get used to it. Let's say, especially if you eat and then you always listen to, like, you watch something, you have the television is on, maybe you also have Netflix on at the same time, and then you're eating, you're watching, you're having so much like kind of influence, you know, while you are in the sacred act of putting food into your body. Then slowing down, you know, really try it, especially if you're really addicted to those things. Try to only one meal. Sit there with your family or in silence without anything on, and just absorb and just flow, you know, with the situation. Just see what it makes you, what it brings you, how you feel while it, right? Yeah. This is very interesting. Let's get you, my dear, some tarot cards. For my dear pile, 2. What can you do to improve the relationship you have towards yourself. For my dear pile 2, how can you love yourself more? What can you do to love yourself more? Pile 2. All right. Oops. I wasn't ready. For my dear pile 2, what can you guys do to love yourself more? Okay, let's go. For my dear pile 2, what can you guys do to love yourself more? Let's get you 3 cards. Okay. Let me see, a card fell. Oh my goodness. Why? Why are those cards just confirming all the things that I said? Look at that. We got the Hermit and we got the 8 of Wands. You guys definitely are always like very hectic, like very like it's very difficult for you to slow down. With the Hermit being here, there's definitely this element of you kind of spending some time with yourself. It's very crucial because, again, the best company we can have, or we should have, is with ourselves. So if you're having a hard time just being surrounded by yourself, or again, being in silence, then you know what to do. This is like, yeah, because I feel like you always are out to go, you always have something to see, to listen to do. So it's very important for you to actually allow yourself to, yeah, come down a little bit and just to be, you know. Yeah, look at this, the 2 of Cups, beautiful. And one last card. For my dear pile 2, what can you do to love yourself? All right. And we got the 6 of Swords. All right, let me make sure everything is visible here. So my dear pile 2, once again with the Hermit being here, you guys definitely a way to, you know, improve your self-love journey is to just spend more time with yourself. And especially, you know, kind of especially if we're talking about accepting ourselves, right? A lot of people have trouble, or they struggle with accepting themselves, is to, yeah, I'm hearing really to absorb yourself, to meditate, to really face yourself, you know, because again, some of you guys are constantly distracting yourself and running away from yourself. So really kind of, yeah, spending time only with you. That's what I'm seeing. Another thing that I'm seeing for you guys, pile 2, is that, okay, for some of you, if you are right now single, or you feel like for a very long time you have not been in a relationship, or you know, sometimes people tend to feel like, or well, sometimes this is something the society also, you know, taught us, let's say the modern day world, that we always need to be in a relationship. And you know, like very often people who are single, they need to justify themselves, and you know, or why they don't want to be in a relationship. And very often we're getting this impression as if we're just lovable when we are in a relationship, and if we're not, we're kind of getting or we are putting these signals out there that we are not good enough in order to have someone. But what I'm actually seeing here is that if you feel like just because you don't have anyone, or just because you have not found anyone who is deserving of you, that you are not lovable because of that, this is like total BS. In fact, you deserve someone who loves you just as much as you love yourself. And we should never settle for anything that's not good for us, or that's not deserving of us. And that's not like this doesn't come from a place of, let's say, being arrogant. This actually comes from a place of self-love. Let's say someone approaches you and you know this person is not good for you. Well, it's actually something very self-loving to do when you tell yourself this person's not deserving of you because they don't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. So that's a huge, huge symbol of actually, yeah, you know, doing self-love. So with the Two of Cups being here, what I'm seeing is that the right person will come, but until that, your self-love has nothing to do with your relationship status. Okay, so become mindful of that. Especially, you know, maybe some people are watching this and they're getting a lot of pressure from, let's say, parents or society or whoever, because you're either of a certain age now and society is like, or your parents are giving you the impression of, well, by now you should have someone or you should be married by now or whatever it is, you know. Don't listen to those things because you are so much more than your relationship status. And actually being single is so much better than being with someone who's not good for us. So keep that in mind. And when the right person comes through, then salute to you. Then that's just a beautiful thing. But never ever think that your relationship status says anything about how lovable you are. Because I feel like for some, this could somehow influence you. For pile 2, another thing that I'm seeing is that be more protective of yourself. You know, maybe some of you guys sometimes get like treated not the best way. And you know, you may not say anything. Like with you, there's something about Vishuddhi, like something about the throat chakra here. Like maybe you don't say it, or you don't say your opinion, or you tend to be silent, you know, whatever it is. When you feel like someone treats you poorly or not the way you deserve to be treated, then make sure they understand that. Like, set boundaries and protect those boundaries. Protect yourself, because there is nothing more self-loving than protecting ourselves. That's definitely something that I'm seeing here for you, pile 2. Yeah. So my dear pile 2, please feel free to let me know how you feel about this reading. I genuinely hope that this reading brought some help towards you. And yeah, please feel free to share it with me. Also like, comment and subscribe if you haven't. If you are interested or you would like to get further information regarding a personal reading with me, of course you can also feel free to email me and I will give you further information then. Also, my dear, lastly, if you would like to connect with me even more on Instagram, my channel's Instagram account is in the description box down below, and of course I invite you there as well. But yeah, my dear pile 2, take care. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading, my dear. Now let's see, how can you love yourself more? What can you do to love yourself more? How can you, improve the relationship that you have towards yourself? So let's see, my dear. First of all, I'm gonna get you some oracle cards, and then we will also dive a little bit deeper with a little bit of tarot as well. But first of all, let's see, for my dear pile 3, what can you guys do to improve your self-love? Let's see. For my dear pile 3, let's get you some card, pile 3, for the beautiful soul watching. Okay, one card fell. Let me see. Okay, multiple cards. I first want to only take one by a time. So for my dear pile 3, for the beautiful soul watching, what can they do? Okay, so the first card, my dear, you got is connect with the earth. All right. for my dear pile 3. Let's see. What can you guys do to improve? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna take the 2 then because I want 3, so yeah. These are the cards that fell together and they came through again. So, alright, they definitely need to be here then. Alright, so let me make sure you can see all the cards. So we got drink tea, make a meal, and at the back of the deck we got connect with fire. That's very interesting. Alright, so what can you do, my dear, to improve the relationship you have with yourself, to love yourself more, and yeah, to improve your self-love journey? So first of all, it's very easy because not easy. First of all, it's very interesting because for me the energy that's really being shown here in one way or another is a very wholesome, like very healthy energy. So I feel like for you guys, there is a huge kind of keyword that's being emphasized here, which is balance. You know, balance of the mind, balance of the body, and of the energies as well. So what can you guys do? First of all, yes, nature, nature, nature. You know, a lot of people always or sometimes think like what is it good for? Like why should I go more into nature? Like what will happen? Like I have, let's say, a certain perception of myself which I'm trying to get rid of. Like what will nature do if I, let's say, go into it and I spend some time there? It will not have any difference. Well, it will totally have difference because it's all connected to the energies that we surround ourselves with. It is something very different, as an example, to look at someone's energy levels when they are surrounded by nature. Someone beautiful, you know, with fresh air, with, you know, a lot of colorful surroundings, you know, with like animal sounds and just this kind of sacred space that nature creates, right? The way your energies or your vibration will be when you're surrounded in such a place, it's totally different than, let's say, you being in the middle of a big city, like a lot of traffic, a lot of like people running around, stressing around to get to work, a lot of hustling, a lot of kind of speed energy. That's a total different environment, and both of them have an impact on us, right? As an example as well, like if we're talking about very hectic cities, there's also a lot of radiation there. You know, it also has a lot of influence on us. So as you can see, there is a difference between like being in certain places. And for you guys, what's being shown here is that a way you can really kind of, you know, slow down a little bit, like pile 2. Maybe some of you guys were drawn to pile 2 as well, by the way, but regardless of that, it's really all about you kind of surrounding yourself in a peaceful place, because then you can really concentrate as well in becoming more peaceful. It's very supportive. It's a very supportive kind of energetic sacred place. So for you guys, definitely if you perhaps have, let's say, you know, a park or a forest somewhere, or maybe sea, you know, like just some natural somewhere, then it's definitely a huge thing for you to perhaps go there and take a walk, you know, and really be in the present moment in silence. Again, it may not actively feel like you're doing anything for your, let's say, self-love journey, because maybe people associate more so self-love things with, let's say, affirmations or like more active things. But what self-love really means as well is to be in a balanced state when it comes to our emotions, our energy, our like thoughts, and our body, right? And these scenarios are like the meditative state, or are like a way of meditation. So yes, it will have an impact on your mind, on your well-being, and eventually on your self-love as well, because everything is interconnected. The mind is connected with emotions. Your emotional body also influences your energetic body, and of course also your physical body. It's all interconnected. So for you guys, definitely to really calm down, to center yourself, and also observing, that's really also a huge point when it comes to meditation, to become the observer instead of the judge, because obviously with self-love as well, so many people are in disbalance because they're constantly judging themselves because of those pictures or those things that society puts upon you that you should fit into. And if you don't, you judge yourself and your abilities and who you are and what you can have or don't have, or what you deserve and what you don't deserve, right? So it's very important to become mindful of that, and really come into our center. And what I'm seeing for you guys for sure, again, I would recommend you to go to a certain place which is not that like busy, somewhere in nature, to take a walk, and don't listen to, let's say, pop music or anything like that. Either walk through like nature in silence and just absorb, absorb the sounds of the animals, the wind, whatever you really can consciously, whatever you're aware of, to really become mindful of it. And if you guys, like, this is really the best scenario, this is really something I would recommend you guys to do. But if you still need some music around, then listen to some very supportive vibrations, there are so many beautiful, frequencies on YouTube that you can listen to. Really find one that really speaks to you, and you can kind of listen to it in the background while you take the walk. And additionally, what it also does with you is it also grounds you. So maybe some of you guys at times have also a little bit of difficulties when it comes to grounding yourself. Maybe because you are very spiritual, and it sometimes is very difficult for you to to kind of ground yourself. Well, I can definitely say that this is something I am struggling with, and I'm also working towards. So yeah, I totally understand this aspect if someone is struggling with it, especially if you sometimes, it's very easy for you to tune into, let's say, energies and like matters which include spirituality, or just in general in the higher chakras, right? Sometimes there are people who then struggle with grounding. Best scenario obviously is if we have balance or a certain level of activity within all the chakras, and of course just in general balance between the earthy matters, between let's say earth and the spiritual aspect of our life. But it's always a journey, right? And I feel like this will definitely also enhance you guys on that level, to come back to yourself. And it will definitely have a huge impact on your mental energy or your mental health, and as well your emotional health, which obviously are a huge aspect of self-love, or the self-love journey here. So that's definitely something I'm seeing. Another thing, guys, for you, I just need to say it, take it how it resonates, but I feel like some of you guys could be regarding your like the food, or just in general the things you put into your body. You could be putting a lot of dead food inside yourself, or just food that's not really whether like not really healthy. I'm just gonna say it that way, it comes through. And I'm not here to give you any health tips, or I'm not as knowledgeable where I can talk about this, so I will not give you an advice that I don't know 100%. Yeah, I am knowledgeable about, obviously. However, there's definitely an aspect here of, at least no matter what your diet is off, to eat more wholesome or more plant-based things. It doesn't matter whether you eat this or that, or don't eat this or that, or whether you eat meat, or whether you're vegan. It doesn't matter. For you, one thing that everyone can change, which will have such a drastic positive change on our health, is to eat or incorporate more plant-based like alive food. So no matter what you eat, because it just surprises me that that there are people around who think that the food we put into our body doesn't affect us on, again, emotional level, physical level. Obviously that, well, people know that, but as well emotionally, mentally, and energetically. I mean, that I'm just like, I don't understand why people still are denying that. I mean, if it has an influence on us physically, how do we, what, I mean, obviously it will also have an influence on us on other levels. And besides that, I mean, look at a car as an example. If a car doesn't get the right treatment or the right, I think in English it's called fuel. Oh my goodness, I'm wondering what the word is. I think I've never used this. Like the right energy, it needs to drive. There are different things, right? If a car doesn't get what it needs, then it will not work as properly as it could. And that's the same way with us as human beings. We forget that we are also having this complex machine we're calling a body, and also a mind, and also emotions and energy in general. So obviously what we put into ourselves would have an impact on the other aspects in our life. So the more you give yourself love in form of good food and wholesome food, and as well with make a meal. Obviously a lot of us have busy schedules, so not everyone can do this, but if you also maybe every now and then take time for yourself, to pamper yourself in like through creating yourself a meal from scratch or something very healthy, this will have an impact. Because also if we talk about self-love, you're actually showing yourself that you're worth enough to create something awesome, a great meal for yourself, to make a great meal for yourself. This will have an impact as well on how you see yourself. There is a difference between someone, energetically as well, who every day eats fast food. Of course, we know when it comes to conventional medicine that with time it can also have an impact on the physical body, but it also has an influence on energetic body. Because don't forget, food as well, everything is vibration. What vibration do you feed your body with? That's the question, because it becomes you. So that's just a message that's coming through here. Maybe, yeah, it's definitely for someone here. But if you take only one thing regarding this aspect, then to just, whenever you can, eat more wholesome or eat more plant-based. Again, doesn't matter. I'm not here to tell you what to eat or don't eat, but just to eat more fresh or more vegetables, or even fruits. Okay, but that was definitely a very important message right here. And again, taking time to make a meal for yourself, that's also honestly pampering yourself, especially if you're someone who doesn't do it that often because you just don't have time or the schedule, right? When you do it then every now and then, you're really giving yourself a lot of self-love because you're taking the time and effort to do that. So that's beautiful, actually. Another thing that I'm seeing here, okay. Alright, so this is a very specific message. Of course, a lot of people are watching this, right? And you guys, all of you, you're probably from a different place in the world, from different cultures, right? But there is a message in here which I find pretty interesting. So what I'm seeing is that depending on where you are from, one thing that you can actually do is to connect with your culture, or connect with certain things which are very dear to you, your family line, or your ancestors. You know, it's very interesting how I actually got this message, because this is giving me tea ceremony vibes, and obviously it's called drink tea, but what I intuitively picked up on is actually a lot of, you know, insights or research I've made at one point as well when it comes to the Japanese culture and how sacred and how deeply rooted tea is, you know, for them, right? And a very small example, if we just think about green tea, how deeply like so many varieties of green tea actually are deeply in the culture, and as well within certain ceremonies. You know, let's just take matcha tea. Yes, today it has become worldwide kind of an ordinary drink, which is good for you and good for your health, and it's really delicious. You know, a lot of people love matcha latte, or, you know, whatever. But when we look at its origin, it's actually very deeply rooted with its culture, and like it has cultural significance, such as when it comes to the well-being and ceremony. So what I'm seeing is that, again, for those of you guys who resonate with it, depending on where you are from, there's this message here to reconnect with certain cultural beautiful yeah, aspects of your culture, to reconnect with them, because I feel like maybe I mean, that's definitely something we can almost find everywhere, that every culture has maybe one thing that really calms you down and really is kind of self-care even, or well, self-care the right word, but just a very beautiful act of, you know, being with yourself. Because again, with self-love, it's also very crucial, you know, how much we think we're deserving, because you know, and that was what I meant with make a meal. Just taking the time every now and then to really, you know, make a meal out of scratch really is also act of love towards yourself, because you're putting the time for yourself, you know, to make something awesome. And it's the same thing with what I'm seeing here. As an example, very simple, that's actually so great, with the drink tea. Again, it's not only in Japan, and so many, like actually all around the world. There's so many cultures who have, you know, certain relationships when it comes to plants, when it comes to even tea, and yeah, you know, a lot of medicine in general. Maybe you are from a place where, let's say, tea has a significance or some kind of a drink. Then what I would recommend you to do, again, it's, you see, there's a message in here which comes through in every of those cards, which is kind of getting centered and back into your, like, yeah, your middle, and to take time for yourself, whether it be to take a walk in silence, whether it be to create something delicious for yourself, or whether it be to drink tea and just absorb yourself and just enjoy it. you guys, a little bit similar with pile 2. I feel like maybe you sometimes, like, you're too stuck in the everyday life, and there's a lot of hustling, a lot of self-moving energy. It's very difficult for you maybe to pause and rest, and to take time for yourself, to take things slow. And these are really different ways, kind of, in which you can take this power back of reconnecting with yourself. You know, even if it's drinking tea, your favorite tea, you know, in your room, and just drinking it, really enjoying it, and just being, you know, putting some very beautiful music in the background that really makes you kind of like in a meditative state, you know. You guys, it's all about nurturing your or coming back to your center. This will have a huge impact on your self-love journey. There is no doubt about that. Yeah, but let's get a little bit more information. Let's start with the tarot. So for my dear pile 3, for the beautiful soul watching pile 3, let's see. How can you guys love yourself more? How can you improve the relationship you can have with yourself? What can you do for your self-love journey? Let's see. For my dear pile, oops, 1. All right, we got Page of Pentacles. Beautiful, the 3 of Cups. Yeah, the 4 of Swords, interesting. And I feel like getting you one more card for my dear pile 3. Let's see. Wow, and the 2 of Wands. At the back of the deck, we got the Hierophant. Let me make sure everything is visible. All right. So my dear pile 3. Okay. So I'm definitely picking up on the energy that some of you guys, again, you're kind of running away from yourself. This is so similar to pile 2. Like, I cannot deny it. Some of you guys need to watch pile 2 as well. I feel like, you know, sometimes we're so much stuck in all the chaotic things that are, you know, are surrounding us. We are constantly stressed. We are in survival mode. We have so many responsibilities, and plus we get so much influence coming from the outside, whether it be from the news or from social medias, or from certain people that are around us, or maybe a very bad boss. You know, we are under pressure a lot, and what we then tend to do is to kind of running away from us. We in our maybe even free time, we always kind of are distracting ourselves, because yeah, we're just kind of running away, you know. And for you guys, I definitely see that when it comes to your self-love journey, there is healing that needs to be done. This can be very different for a lot of you guys. Obviously, you know, there are people who are very harsh on themselves or hate themselves because of, let's say, the beauty industry, or because of what society tells them need to be in order to get married, or in order to be lovable. You know, all those toxic, self-destructive mind programming that we're getting, right? Or maybe others have a very bad experience which makes them kind of go on war with themselves, you know. As an example, maybe someone has a lot of difficulties regarding their self-love journey because they have been in a third-party situation, they were cheated on, and they feel like, well, they will never be, let's say, lovable or good enough, you know, for anyone. This is very heavy energy. Or maybe someone in their childhood even has heard some things regarding themselves, and this is still with them, right? Let's say they had a parent who was always very criticizing of them, or you know, whatever. Again, it can be so different for each and every one of us, right? But what I'm seeing is that you guys need healing. You know, you need healing with the self-love journey. It's not only about pampering ourselves, let's say, taking great baths, you know, or you know, whatever. It's also, again, doing the inner work, which is connected to traumatic experiences. And for you guys, I definitely see you need some healing. There is some healing which needs to be done. Now, what I would recommend you guys is to really, of course it depends, right? First of all, if you feel like you need help on this journey, then definitely consider, as an example, to see a professional, right? Who can really hold your hand or really guide you through this experience. But you guys definitely, there needs to be this shift of focus, you know, of kind of becoming aware of the manipulation, because we sometimes aren't even aware of the fact that, you know, let's say if we're talking about the beauty industry, that we are a product, that you are a product for, like you are a part of a billion-dollar industry. And of course it's not bad to, let's say, do certain adjustments if you would like to, for, you know, your well-being. That's obviously, I mean, first of all, no one is in the position to judge you for something you would like to do for yourself, right? Let's say you would like to do something when it comes to your appearance. You can do whatever you want to do. But it's very important still to understand that does this come from a place of love, or does it come from a place of self-hate? Because, as an example, maybe doing a nose job is a very easy fix, but yes, you may have fixed the nose that someone may have talked you in, or the society may have talked you into to hate, but is it really fixed afterwards? Because those issues of not being good enough will still be inside of you. Yes, maybe you have fixed the nose, but tomorrow you maybe find something else you need to fix, because again, it was not about the nose, it was about the disconnection and the manipulation that someone has put upon you, or a whole industry, right? So it should always come from a place of love and not from a place of hate or fear when we want to, you know, change something. And that's the crucial thing, because again, there's nothing bad about plastic surgery or anything like that, but we really need to become mindful of the intention, and we need to be mindful of the fact that where did this perception come from? Where did I got this feeling that I need to fix something, if it's even fixing something, right? Does it come from a good place or a bad place? Does it come really from me, or does it come from other people? So this is something very obviously very complex and very intense, and I think, you know, we would need to have multiple videos talking about those things, and I don't want to get too much into it, but this is just an example. We need to become mindful of where we have gotten those perceptions of why we're not good enough, or why we're not lovable enough. You know, coming back to the cheating example, there have been so many cases where men or women afterwards, like after they've been cheated on, they have such a disconnect from themselves, or even to love in general, because this is such a traumatic experience, right? And very often they even give themselves the fault for it. You know, let's say that it was their own fault that the partner has cheated, because again, they may have not been beautiful enough, so their partner went for someone else who was more lovable than they are. You know, we need to become very mindful of those things. And for example, that if someone does something, especially something that well, I need to have a word. Someone does something that's intense to us, that it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with the person who chooses to do those things. You are great and good enough the way you are, but the person who has done that, they haven't seen your worth. And we should never be in the first place with someone who doesn't see our worth anyways. But this has more about them than about you. But we are not that, let's say, aware, or it's not that easy anyways, especially if we go through that difficult experiences. It's not that easy. It's easier said than done to become the observer, to really understand that it's not your fault, but it's the person who has done it. They have issues, and their acting or their behavior comes from, maybe their unhealed issues from their childhood, or from whatever that's being just kind of shown in the way they act towards you. So it takes a lot of self-realization and a lot of observing and so many other things, right, to come on that level where you can actually become aware of it. But a lot of people aren't there, right? So coming back to what you guys can actually do on your self-love journey is to allow yourself to heal. And again, don't be scared to maybe even see a professional, right, if you need help, or if it's too much. But we need at one point to start with the healing, because if we don't, we will take those issues with us our whole life. And healing itself is a journey, it's not a goal. And you will maybe always find, healing, but that's part of life, because and what I'm seeing for you guys is that one thing you can actually as well do, again, with on your self-love journey, is to set small goals, not for the long run, but actually very short-term goals that you actually you look forward to do for yourself. Because if we take like short-term goals, or when we make them for ourselves, that's actually such a great thing, because whenever we then accomplish them, it's a small kind of rewarding experience, right? And again, I'm talking here about small goals, not, let's say, you wanting to, let's say, from 10 years from now to achieve something. No, very small things. So you actually, again, put energy into yourself, into doing something for yourself, and then you achieve it. And that's a very beautiful energy, right? To show yourself that you're actually worth or deserving enough, right? To accomplish certain things. So as an example, this can be very, very small. Let's say you set the goal of every week, once a week, to work out, or to do some yoga, or to talk to a friend about a certain topic, right? About a chit chat. It could be anything, for, let's say, 5 weeks. A very small goal that you would like to achieve, which is not only great for your for your well-being, of course, depending what you would like to do, but it's also kind of putting the energy for yourself, right? And after 5 weeks, you will have accomplished this very small goal, and you will feel very great about it, that you have actually put the work or not the work, but put the energy for yourself, right? That's a beautiful thing. And it could be anything. Let's say for 4 weeks, you would like to every day, for 10 minutes only, meditate. That's a small goal. or if it's not every day, if that's not possible, let's say twice a week for 4 weeks. You will not only see an improvement, but you will also do something great for yourself. And if you're after the 4 weeks, if you have done it, you will have the small kind of yeah, accomplished feeling. You know, that's really beautiful. So you see for yourself how you would like to do it, but that's actually such a beautiful thing to do. Again, small steps that are achievable. Another thing, my dear, for your self-love journey, what you can do is actually to connect with people who support you on that journey, you know, who support you and who actually have a beautiful influence on you as well. So let's say you connect with other people who are also on their self-love journey, and you can actually exchange yourself and exchange your experiences and share your experiences with each other. It can be so much, but actually to connect with people who are the self journey as we are. That's so beautiful, because we don't then sometimes maybe it feels like we're going through something alone, but sometimes maybe people feel it better, or are would like to kind of go through an experience with other people or through a journey. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, if right now there's no one like physically in your circle or someone who's going through that, the internet, right? You could maybe digitally connect with people who are going through the journey and connect with them and share your story or share your experiences on your self-love journey with others, and we can learn from each other. That's also a great thing to do, right? Another thing for you, my dear, that I'm seeing is that, okay, this is very specific, so take it how it resonates, okay? Take it how it resonates. But sometimes, I'm being actually, I have to remember my mother, because my mother is like that. My mother is such a giving soul, and she always wants to take care of everyone and nurture everyone and be there for everyone, then that she sometimes comes short. And I feel like sometimes this could even be the case for you guys, so become mindful of it. Don't just give your energy away for free, because one day you may find yourself in a position where you don't have any energy left. It's beautiful to be generous, it's beautiful to be kind, but it should never be in a way that you risk your well-being with it. And not only that, another thing as an example that I'm picking up on, which my mother also does, is that she barely spends money on herself. She always spends her money on her loved ones or on other people, on her children, but she never does it for herself. I remember once I talked with her about it, and she said that she just doesn't really see herself that important to give herself, let's say, a certain pair of shoes. She would rather give or buy her children that, because they're more important than kind of her. And we should never ever think that someone else is more important. I know what she's doing. She's expressing her unconditional love that she has towards, let's say, us as her children, but we need to become mindful of the fact that we're also deserving. It's great to give, again, it's great to give to our loved ones, to buy things for other people and to share our love with it, but we should never come short. This is especially something I've seen in a lot of fathers and mothers, right? That they're so unconditionally when it comes to the love they share to their children, as an example, right? But there are a lot of people who as an example feel like they don't want to spend money on themselves because maybe even they can't, or they just don't want. They feel like they can put the money into someone else better, who's more worthy. But one thing when it comes to self-love is actually also to show ourselves that we are deserving. And yes, if it's, as an example, to buy ourselves something small. That's also a great act because we're showing ourselves that, hey, we're working so hard on earning money that we also see worth in ourselves to also spend a little bit money on ourselves to do something, because hey, even buying stuff can be a little bit something like nurturing ourselves, right? So of course it always has to be balanced, because with money in general, there is a lot of unbalance or imbalance in the world. But if we look at ourselves, to really kind of do something nice for ourselves every now and then. If you are someone who doesn't have enough money to do this, and this is why you don't do it, then maybe you can save just a little bit of money every month. And maybe in a few months you will then be able to buy something you always wanted to have for yourself. You know, that also gives you so much this is also an act of showing ourselves that we are deserving, right? So yeah, try to bring it somehow into your daily routine or into your life, but never ever come short, and show yourself how deserving you are, whether it be in every now and then spend money on yourself, or every now and then put time for yourself when it comes to certain things. It doesn't matter. It's always, self-love is always about bringing balance into our energetic, mental, emotional, and physical body, and also putting the time and effort for ourselves, because we're deserving. Yeah, and we deserve the best. And the greatest relationship we can have with anyone is with ourselves. Self-love is first love, right? So yeah, pile 3. For you guys, there were so many different messages that came through. I'm already more than 40 minutes into this reading. Definitely more than the other piles. So it could be the case that you guys are, maybe struggling the most with the self-love journey. And that's fine. Give yourself the time you need. It's not a competition. You should focus on yourself. So there have been a lot of different energies and tips that came through. So I'm definitely sure there is at least maybe one thing everyone can kind of bring into their life to enhance or support the self-love journey. And I genuinely hope that this reading has helped you somehow. And yeah, if it does, please feel free to let me know and share your voice with me. And also please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. If you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can of course feel free to email me. And also, my dear, lastly, if you would like to connect with me even more, my channel's Instagram account is in the description box down below, and of course I invite you there as well. But yeah, my dear pal 3, take care.